has something for the ladies.
Yo, check this out. He going live right now. Everybody, shh. It's Dsmoovee.
Streetz 105.1 Dsmoovee, aka Smooth Diddy, aka Ain't Nobody Smoother, aka Smoother Than Butter, BKA Smoother Than Brown Liquor, BKA the Smoothest. BK, I got so many AKAs, I forgot my own name, man. You know who I am, you know what I do. Tap in with me, Dsmoovee, 2 O's, 2 E's with V in middle. Straight simple like that on IG, and Dsmoovee Shabazz on all platforms, man. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube and show love, man. Of course, you know what's going on, man. I told you I got the hottest people in the building. I always keep the hottest people with me. Shout out to my videographer, man, Denero TV, man. Make sure y'all go subscribe to the YouTube channel as well, man. Y'all gonna see this interview a little bit later, man. Y'all ain't gonna see it on the live, man, because I told y'all everything ain't gonna be instant gratification. Everything gonna be on the lives, man. So make sure y'all tap into the YouTube. That's the only way y'all gonna see it, all right? So today, man, I have the brother, man, who's been in the film industry in St. Louis for over 20 plus years, man. Been doing dope work, man, and actually was shooting a commercial, how I found out about him, and just missed the deadline. But shout out to the brother, man. I had to get him up here, man. I'm like, yo, you doing too much dope stuff in St. Louis, man, for me not to know you. So I had to bring him up to the show. Brother Dana Christian is a bit. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing wonderful, man. And thank you so much for reaching out to me. And then, yeah, just even tapping in, man, with the project. Like I told you, even though you missed the deadline,
yeah.
Things happen when they happen. So
Absolutely.
You missed the deadline, but you're right on time for this.
Hey, man, brother, I appreciate you, man. And one thing I do before I start any interviews was I always give people their roses, man. For you to be in that industry, for you to be in the film industry, a black man in the film industry is really rough. But I think it's really necessary, brother, to be able to tell our stories, to be able to put faces on TV, on places that look like us. You know what I'm saying? I think people we don't look at ourselves as famous or as up the upper echelon until we see ourselves on TV, brother. But for you to be doing film and for you to tap in with that industry, I think is beautiful, man. And I look forward to supporting you, brother. I look forward to working with you. Look forward to seeing what is next for you, brother, and looking forward to seeing you be successful at what you do.
Yeah, that's key, and I appreciate that. Definitely appreciate all of that, man. And you said something important. That's one of the motivating factors of me doing what I do was to put people like us in front of the camera and put them in positions to thrive. And I don't want to spoil too much, but because I don't know how what the questions are going to go. But that was definitely one of my main missions, and particularly St. Louisans.
Absolutely. I'm a fan, man. Look, I'm a fan because I believe that black and brown people should see black and brown people. And I believe black and brown people should be seen all across the world. That's me. Yes. You know what I'm saying? And I'm with anybody who's on that mission. So that's why I said, yeah, I see that you're on that mission. And I see what you're trying to do, brother. So I want to kind of start a little light like this, though. I want to know where you got the passion for the film industry and where you kind of got your start at.
So how I kind of really got into the film industry, it's just one of them funny stories. It's I'm the youngest of 4 kids, right?
Yeah. And
then my sister right above me, it's like a 9-11 year difference. So they ain't trying to mess with no little kids or whatever. So like I had to like find ways to keep myself entertained. So I always had like an overactive imagination, like with the G.I. Joe men and all this type of stuff, saying, you know, I'm finna create these little stories and movies. I used to draw. And then when hip hop came into the forefront, I dove right into it.
Absolutely.
Like all the elements, you know what I'm saying? Like I even messed up some records trying to DJ, you know, so get the cardboard box out there, break dancing, you know, dabbled in the rapping, you know what I'm saying? Even had the airbrush, you know what I'm saying, on the graph size. I ain't had no spray cans or whatever. It was a little bit too expensive. So my parents, they got me an airbrush and all that stuff. So that kind of like started spinning the wheels. And I always wanted to do something creative, but as growing up, like you said, like I didn't come from a household, I didn't come from an area where we saw filmmakers and saw pretty much artists living off of their art. The only thing close that I knew was the father on the Brady Bunch. He was cool, and what he do for a living? He was an architect. Yeah, I know how to draw. You know how. That's all you need to do. Learn how to draw. You be an architect. That's all I thought. So I wanted to be an architect. So that was my dream going into college. Got there, I majored into architecture. Did good my first year, but the thing is, it wasn't creative enough for me.
Okay.
Because, you know, you can only do so much with physics. Yeah. You know, with a building before that started kicking in. So I had my family's home video camera while I was away at school. I went to Prairie View A&M, historically black university.
And shout out to the HBCUs, man. Yeah.
Yeah, 45 minutes right outside of Houston or whatever. And they was known for having the Kappa Beach Party. It was in Galveston, Texas. So I was like, we're going to the Kappa Beach Party. Because it was like Freaknik was still right around that time frame. We like, well, Atlanta a little bit too far. we was high to Galveston, and we still going to kick it. So I just had my family's home video camera just capture my homeboys, all of us just kicking it. Like the whole atmosphere, I'm just recording. So we get back to the dorms, and when everybody kind of showing footage that they got, people kept coming back to me like, yo, man, let me see your tape. Man, where your tape at? And I'm like, why y'all want to see my tape? I'm thinking they trying to steal it now. So he was like, nah, man, we just feel like we in the moment. So I was like, okay. You know, so they in there watching it or whatever. They like reliving everything out or whatever. Then I went undecided, and I said, you know what, let me take some communication classes. Took some communication classes, and at the time, our TV station wasn't active.
Yeah.
So these two guys that I know, they both wanted to be in front of the camera, and they kind of got the TV station activated. So they like, well, somebody gonna have to record. I don't want to record. So I was like, I'll record. So that's what kind of started the plant that little seed. But then fast forward, at the time, since they TV station wasn't active, they didn't have credibility. So I was like, you know what? I changed my major from architecture to communications. I did 2.5 years down here already. You know what? Let me just start thinking for the future.
Yeah.
So I was heavy into hip hop, and it was a music video show on public access TV called Fat Clips. I was a fan of that show. I knew the producer of it. So I called him up. I was like, man, look, I'm thinking about coming back home to go to school. I'm go to Webster. But man, do you need help with the video show? Because I changed my major to communications. He was like, bro, I'm glad you hit me up because the timing is right. Yeah, I do.
Damn.
Came home. Only thing you have to do, like I say, in this place, it was called Double Helix at the time. They produced some of the best talent, like in front of the cameras and behind the cameras here in St. Louis and beyond. Like when I was in college, one of my homeboys, so I was in school with, he went through the program. He's working at ESPN. A lot of the top cameramen that does like sports has won like Emmys. Everybody, a lot of people came through this whole system, and this was cutting edge because even though it was public access, the stuff that they was creating was dope. Like we had like a teen talk show there. This one guy had like a soap opera that he would do. They covered the theater, but like I said, but we had the music video show, and that was the staple because people would like literally call in every week to see if we was gonna have a new show. And this one, like Rap City and Yo MTV Raps was out. But people was tuning in to our program. And I was like, why? And they were saying, because y'all play the videos that we don't normally see. And I was
like, hard.
Yeah, so like I dove into that like a month with helping out with that show. The show was turned over to me fully, and I was the producer, the director, the camera operator, even sometimes the host and the editor. So that kind of like, man, they kicked off a way. Like I say, the story is crazy because from there, that's how I ended up. Like Nelly and the St. Lunatics and all those guys, they were fans of the show. They used to watch the show. And I never forget, one day Ali called in, Big Lee. He called into the show. I was doing a Capadonna giveaway on the show because we do giveaways and all this stuff. Like I made the show live. So he didn't win. He was like, damn, bro, I can't get it. I'm like, nah, bro. I said, man, I got to be fair or whatever. So we just started chopping it up. I'm like, so what do you do? He's like, I cut her, but I rap. I'm in a rap group. And back then, it's like in the late, it's like what, 1999, 98, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm just like, cats wasn't talking about they was making a living off of rapping back then. So I'm like, so who are you with? He was like, I'm with the group St. Lunatics. I'm like, bro, I know y'all. I was like, bro, I got to get y'all on the show. So that's what kind of clicked and say, you know what? I got St. Louis watching these videos. We interviewing all the artists that came in town. Like, bro, like Eminem, when he came in town, he wasn't doing interviews with nobody but our show. The Black Eyed Peas, back when they had the Black Girl before Fergie.
Word?
We would hang out with them. Bro, it's crazy. Wyclef, I mean, you name it. People that came in, like, they were actually on, like, our roster. So, like, it was funny because the radio station at the time, they didn't like us. They thought we was competition. We was like, bro, like, we ain't competition. We all in this together. It was that St. Louis mentality.
Yeah.
But anyway, but they gave me the sense of saying, you know what, I'm showcasing all these national artists. why can't I showcase my own hometown? And then I started seeing sprinkles of other like local record labels like the VIP Records, the PD Wax, all of them or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Like the All Stars or whatever, Black on Black Entertainment, Just Black and all of them. And then the Looms, I said, you know what? Man, I'm gonna start interviewing local artists. I'm gonna start going out in the community and filming these local events that our people are at. Let me put them on TV too. So now you're looking at these national artists, you're gonna see our artists too. So,
That's hard, man.
So that's how I kind of that's a small portion, and then you know, of course, other layers sprung out of that though. But yeah, that's the
No, man, I think that's dope, man, because that's a preview of St. Louis history.
Yeah.
I didn't know that you were doing those things, you know what I'm saying, and really putting St. Louis on in that different way. But I want to know, like, what were some of your biggest influences when it came to videography and when it came to video, man? Because I'm not gonna say Spike, but I mean, you give me Spike vibes. You know what I'm saying?
You know what? It's funny because it's like I'm not a traditionalist, like film guru.
Yeah.
I know film history and I appreciate it, but bro, I'm gonna tell you some of my biggest influence is music video directors. The Hype Williams,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? F. Gary Gray, F. Gary Gray is like my blueprint because he started out in music videos, then he made that transition into film. But what he did was he was able to capture that West Coast lifestyle in a sense.
Flawlessly too, man.
But then also he was able to tap into that crossover market that they wasn't giving a lot of African Americans their respect to, because truth be told, dude, it's to almost like a 0.0% of actual music video directors of color that can translate and have a successful movie career. Very few. Just think about it.
That's deep. I didn't think about that.
Like Hype Williams when he did Belly. Of course, there was a lot of things that went on behind that, but Hype ain't did another movie since.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? Like Chris Robinson was kind of close or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He did some movies like AT. I thought was phenomenal, but he should have got way more opportunities outside of that. Even Paul Hunter, he did. I think it was like the 12 Monkeys. He did some movie back in the day. It's a karate flick, but he ended up being great into the world of actual commercials, and even Lil X. Like he did a movie up in Canada centered around a black hockey player that nobody really knew about, but then he did the Superfly movie. So you remember that? It was
of course.
Came out or whatever. So, but look, he ain't did nothing else since. And then the one homie Melina, and this is a funny story with that because you heard of Melina, right?
No, I haven't.
Melina Masu. Okay, so Melina, what she is, she's a African American female director. She started out in music videos, so she's did like a lot of Rihanna music videos, like Beyonce music videos, and she did the movie Queen and Slim. And she was in, one of the lead directors over Issa Rae's HBO series
Insecure. Dope.
Funny story with that. I know Melina. I met Melina when she did her very first music video. It was a video over in East St. Louis with some artists or whatnot. It was Lock 'Em Down Records. And it was funny because she never did a music video before. She was coming out of grad school, and she was like, and that's been like before film cameras, like people couldn't afford film cameras. Digital was still a little cutting edge, so it's like, and the quality wasn't quite there, but that's all some people couldn't afford. So she was like, so how do you sync the audio up with the music? And I was like, the audio is on the camera. But she went on to be, man, phenomenal director. She has an amazing eye. But even with her, with Queen and Slim, like a lot of opportunities didn't come out of there for her. And I'm just like, why?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, but like I said, but that was still some of my biggest influences. But like I said, I would say F. Gary Gray. Of course, I love Spike.
Man.
Who else? Man, that's a lot of great people. The one guy who did Ferris Bueller's Day Off and all those movies, because I like diversity. I don't like to be having a, you know what I'm saying, when you look at my work, you feel like, oh, okay, this is that signature piece. I like bodies of work and directors that can transcend over the span of their career and whatnot.
Man, having such a long span of time in film and really just being a master of it. How did you kind of hone your craft about it? And like you said, I don't know. I don't think you said you don't have like a signature, but how did you kind of hone your craft around it and make film making your own?
You know what? How I kind of do it is I do have some of my go-to things that I normally always do. excuse me, when I create. But I would say what I do is like I'm constantly always learning. Like every day, man, I'm learning something. Like I don't get content. So that's how I kind of I guess hone my craft. I don't get content. I'm always my biggest critic. Like it's hard for me to like take like it's hard for me to accept accolades and you know what I'm saying, appreciation sometimes. And it kind of
I understand.
But it kind of goes back to like my history, like back when I used to play basketball in high school or whatever. It's like I'm like that true ultimate team player. It's like, okay, you know, so I put up 30 on Ritter, which happened. You know what I'm saying? In their gym. And we did beat them in that conference. You know what I'm saying? It was like nobody beat them in their home before, but we ain't gonna talk about that. But like even stuff back then or whatever, like I shied away from that because I don't like too much of the attention on me in the spotlight.
Understood.
And that's why I guess I'm behind the scenes. And I don't mind like putting other people in front of that. Or whatever. Man,
I appreciate you coming in, brother, because that's major, man. I always love, man, just to see the humbleness of somebody, man, and it's kind of hard to bring a filmmaker in front of the camera and really like give them their roses and really show them appreciation. So and that's just because you are a student of your work and you always trying to grow and things like that. Yeah. I want to ask you this too, like working on projects and doing things like that. What did you really find your niche in filmmaking? You
know what? And it's funny because it's always shaping and developing.
Yeah.
And that's one of them things. It's like, and I'll say this to anybody, like it's cool to have your niche, but don't be afraid to grow. And I would say use it as a tree. You know, of course, you have your roots, right? The roots is the filmmaker.
Yeah, man, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? But the whole the bark of it and the whole body of it, it could be something else, and then the branches is other extensions. So when I came into it, like initially, I thought like, okay, by me having a music video, TV show background, my goal was in like 2 years after me being in St. Louis, I was gonna go work at BET and MTV. That was the goal. I was like, I got some connects, I can make that happen. You know what I'm saying? But then I got being around the music videos, studying music videos. I got the bug I want to do music videos. I got a chance to do that. You know what I'm saying? And then from there, I'm like, you know, I want to do like commercial branding pieces. I want to do some corporate stuff. So it constantly always changing. Right now, I'm in a spot it was funny because I got off into the world of reality shows. And the crazy part is it was by accident.
Yeah.
And then I did a feature on a fitness trainer out in North County. His name was King James. And he was like notorious, like this dude, like the ultimate like reality show character, man. He wore a do-rag and a fedora, and he had a wiffle ball bat. And he had all these women in this big warehouse, like an old empty, like it could be like an old shopping store. Uh-huh. And he had these cement blocks. And he training them like a drill sergeant. You know what I'm saying? Some of the stuff he crossed the line with, like hitting the women with the wiffle ball bats. They ain't doing the stuff. But it was like over the top. It was outrageous. So I was like, bro, like he wanted me to do actually a workout video for him. But he said he really wanted to do a reality show. I took the camera up there one day and started filming with him. And then we just happened to put it out there. Man, it made media takeout, bro. He went viral. The videos are still up there. And then we did a part 2 to it because I started studying structure of reality shows.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, let me do the trailer like this now to pitch a show and not just a person.
Man, you so dope, man.
So this is like
hard,
before
man.
Sweetie Pies and all this, bro. This was like, that's how I always be thinking ahead. Like, okay, well, what's next? What's not here, but what's next? What's beyond? So I thought that was going to be the bug. But for some reason, I would get close to the finish line. Like we had deals on the table, like with Dick Clark Productions. I actually had a TV show that's picked up by BET. We did a pilot for, right?
Yeah.
The year after that, they got rid of all their reality shows. Nelly's show was on there.
Yeah.
And there was another show called Rock, Paper, Scissors. We had a couple of people from St. Louis on that show. It was around a tattoo shop and a beauty salon. We was in the mix of that. They got rid of their top 3 executives, and they switched the whole format around. And that was the time frame when the New Edition movie came out. So they started going to more scripted programs.
Yeah.
So I'm like, man, why I'm getting close and it's not happening? So a few years ago, I always been intrigued by documentaries. Cause that's where my heart is right now. So
Man.
I did a piece with this with a producer here in town, Lori Dow, Story Tracks, and I'm under the umbrella of Story Tracks and all that. I'm one of her directors and everything.
Salute to you, brother.
Yeah, the first piece that we did together, man, we won an Emmy on, a local Emmy.
Seriously?
Yes.
Damn.
And what it was documentary style, but it was telling human stories. And it was for an organization called Hope Creates. And what they do is, this organization, it's a nonprofit, and it's kids and young adolescents that have substance abuse issues, and how they help treat them in the recovery is through art. And the feature was this young man out of Kansas City named Blake, and he was a photographer, but he got caught up, man. Like he was into, heavy drug uses, on the brink of going to prison and all that. But photography and the mentor saved him. And we told his story in a very, very captivating, way. And it just, and it struck big. And then that's when I know, like, you know what, I need to be telling, reality shows is telling stories, but I need to be telling stories this way, because I always didn't feel right about the toxic nature and being that therapist with some of these shows. Like like I said, I've had a few shows I've worked on, and being there with the talent, and you have to be a therapist, and you have so much invested into their lives that it start affecting your life. Like my girl looking at me like, why are you so involved in these people's? I'm like, babe, this is part of work.
You heard that, like you heard these stories, and it's like, damn, like how can I help? Yeah,
but then it's like, but the thing is too, they was creating more problems and not enough solutions.
Yeah,
and I didn't like that, so I was like, how can I still tell these stories that highlight problems, because we need conflict, but how do we come with conflict resolution?
Absolutely, man.
So that's where I'm at now, but then I'm also moving on to another space too. We talk about that a little later.
Yeah, man, we're going to get to that, man. I want to know about the life, man, of a filmmaker, man, full-time, doing it for a living, man. Talk to me about that, the advantages, the disadvantages, man, and kind of give people a life in a life of Dana Christian.
Okay. Man, it was something else, man. I mean, but back in the day, it's like, because I'm be honest with you, bro, like, either back in the day in St. Louis with filmmaking, it was like I said, it wasn't such thing as full-time filmmakers. Like the only ones that was remotely close was the Hudlin brothers out of East St. Louis. They did like House Party, did Boomerang and stuff like that or whatever. But they never fully really.
So the Boomerang and House Party came out of the filmmakers came out of East St. Louis.
Yeah, the Hudlin brothers. Yeah.
My bad, brother.
Yeah, they did a lot more big video movies as well back then. But we never seen them. You know what I'm saying? Like because it's like you can't exist and make a living in St. Louis doing entertainment filmmaking. But I was like, you know what? I was able to do that. Like, it was crazy because when I graduated, it was either you go into sports or you go into news or maybe corporate video making.
Yeah.
It wasn't a such thing as nobody making, like, saying they're going to be a music video director out of St. Louis. It was nobody saying, like, I'm going to go around in the clubs and do these club recaps. It wasn't nobody going around saying, I'm going to put artists on and do all this. Bro, like, I mean, I hate to say, but I sound like Soulja Boy, but I was the first to do that.
That's right, man. All right, you gotta keep it like that, man. Big Draco.
Yeah. And it was funny. I was telling somebody this story the other day back when I had my music video show. I was interviewing Ludacris, right? So the first time I was supposed to interview him, I was interviewing somebody else and I missed him. That's back when he had his first song out, My Fantasy or whatever. And then he blew up after that. But the record label said, look, we're going to do an interview with you. So I was like, all right, cool. My host couldn't show up. I was like, man, I can't miss this interview again. So after his little concert, his little club performance, I'm backstage with him, interviewing him. I give him the mic, and I'm holding the camera, interviewing him, right? That don't sound like nothing unusual now, right?
No, it don't.
But back in 99, early 2000, he came up in 2001. Back in 2001, nobody wasn't doing that. You had a host and the artist and the camera person. The camera person wasn't interacting with the talent on camera. I got the tape somewhere. He stopped me an interview. He said, look, y'all, I've never had an interview like this, and I've never seen this before. The cameraman is asking me the questions and filming at the same time.
I gotta watch. You gotta send me that, bro. I
gotta find it up. It's on mini DV tape.
Nah, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, I gotta see that.
Yeah, man. So it's like stuff like that or whatever, man. And or whatnot that I kind of was, really doing. But to go back to the original question is, just some of the challenges was like you didn't see nobody doing it, so you kind of was like the guinea pig and that
trailblazer, man.
for it. So now when you have cats like my man right here who's doing it, Paparazzi Media, Rimrod,
shout out to all them brothers, man.
The Big Monts, all those guys doing it. It's like, man, I congratulate those brothers, man. And I always make sure I have a some of them I actually know, like Paparazzi and Rim, like those my guys. Guys like Vic Mont, I don't know Vic Mont, but I know his work. And along with some of the other ones or whatever that's out there or whatnot, Boom Vision and stuff like that or whatever, man. Like all those guys and all the females too that's doing it. I mean, I respect them because I know, like, man, how hard it was to get to that point. And that's why I wanted to see. Like I said, I never look at these people as competition.
Yeah.
Because sometimes they tend to make us like, we like, I'm gonna just keep it funky. More than one black person can't occupy the space at the same time doing the same thing.
That's how.
And
that's
I'm
how
like,
it seems.
nah, because I've been to these agencies and they got 1 million people looking just like them, all working together cohesively. But when we get more than one of us in the room, now we got to be, that's our competition. Nah, you my competition. The world my competition. So that's some of the obstacles that I have to overcome and face. But the beauty of it is, man, you kind of create your own destiny. You know what you eat is what you kill.
That's the phrase, man. I love that, man. I love when people tell me that, and I love hearing stories. And I'm gonna keep it funky with you, brother Christian. I don't think I've heard of you outside of my generation. I'm 29.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And now that I'm getting introduced to what you're doing and what you've done for St. Louis, man, I have a whole new respect for you. I already had respect for you. You know what I'm saying? Just hearing it, because it was, I forgot what the post said, but it was just something, giving you your roses and really talking about you. But now to hear the backstory of, like, you did it, like you put St. Louis on, like, in the media way, you know what I'm saying? And gave us an eye for Nelly, for the lunatics, to really say, okay, like, I can see myself on TV, brother, and I don't know, you know what I'm saying, how you feel about that, but I know you have to really be like, really taking yourself in and just be like, I hope you do, and be like, man, I really created a wave in St. Louis and I really did something important, man. I think that's really incredible, brother. You know what?
I do reflect on it at times, but I don't let it overconsume me because I'm always looking ahead to what's next. So I don't always, like I said, I don't have time to always celebrate myself, because I'm working. I'm trying to be better than the next thing. I'm trying to continue a legacy. I'm trying to create other avenues, trying to figure out how I can make this, make this business way more profitable than what I'm doing, and create a bigger legacies, you know what I'm saying, just outside of myself. Because truth be told, we don't tend to do that. The one gripe, like I said, I just got to keep it real, man. Like, the one gripe that I have with the African American community and leadership is, we hold positions way too long. To where we get old and then outdated. We don't bring nobody up through the ranks, and then when we die, that dies off with us.
Absolutely.
We need to start creating legacies of people to come underneath us, because you think about like any other, like these corporations, bro. Like look at war.
Yeah.
Like, just take an army. They have the top ranking officials is the older people making the calls, but they got the soldiers, the young ones out there putting in their work. They may be the faces for the time being, but at the top, the older people still making those calls. We feel like if a person start getting older, then they have no influence no more within our community. And then that's why we had that generation gap, that breakdown, because we don't respect the old, but we don't know how to create that bridge to where it's like, nah, young dude, young lady, come over here. Let me help guide you.
Yeah,
Just
man.
listen, let me help guide you, because I've been in your shoes before, and let me help fund you, or let me help put you in position to do this, so we can groom you. So by the time you continue being that face, being that soldier, but by the time you can get to general, sergeant, whatever it is, colonel, lieutenant, you could be ready. But just keep that baton passing. We got to keep doing that, man. We got to keep doing that.
Brother, I thank you for that, because that needed to be said, and I really appreciate your mentality when it comes to our people, and just seeing the work that you've done and the work that you are doing and being an influence to the younger generation, brother. A lot, like you said, a lot of people they gonna keep that torch and they gonna let that torch die out with them.
Yes. But
I see that you are still passing that torch while it's lit, brother. And man, I'm gonna celebrate you, brother. So but whenever you around me, you gonna get celebrated. I'm gonna let you know that right now. You gonna be around me a lot because I'm telling you right now. You got some upcoming projects coming up, brother. I wanted you to give your time to talk to the audience and the airwaves about that, man. Let them know what's going on.
Okay, some of them I can't go too much in detail yet because they still kind of in development, and some are right on the horizon. But the one that's about to get ready to come out. Next Sunday, if I forgot the date, I don't have my phone on me. Whatever next Sunday is when you hear this, I think like what's the 27th of July?
Yeah, the 20th, 21st or something like that. I think.
Yeah, something of July or whatnot. We have we did it's a it's hard to describe it as a documentary because it's a performance piece of how I label it as. During the pandemic, the Kransberg Arts Foundation, the Kransbergs is the huge arts foundation here, a husband and wife team, Ken and Nancy Kransberg. What they do is they supply and fund a lot of the arts within the St. Louis community. So they had a building called the High Low that's located on Washington. It's a literary space to where you can rent it out to do events, but it has this cafe and it has like this library and stuff like that with it, and it also has office space. My producing partner, Laya Beth LaFleur, with somebody else you got to get up here too. Laya, man, you talking about?
We finna talk, brother, because there's a lot of people that you mentioned that with your connection. I need to. Yeah, we need to flood this space.
It's a lot of people, man. That people need to know about. That's doing it, like I say,
they got yeah, and that's my thing, brother. We have to give those people their roses, and we have to let them know. We have to celebrate them while they're here, brother, and we need to be able to acknowledge them and to reach out to them and talk to them. I never want to feel like I'm too big for anything, and I know you don't have that sentiment at all, brother. So whatever we can do, whatever I can do, I want to sit down with you, man. If I need to take you out to emos or something like that, man, you let me know, brother.
I'm vegan, plant based.
Okay. So what's up, Smoothie King?
I don't do Smoothie King. I know some fire vegan places like Sweet Art. You know what I'm saying?
Sweet Art, yeah.
House,
okay, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
We going there.
I know all the.
And we going there, brother. And
people know me.
And we gonna work it out because we definitely, man. I think this is gonna be the start of a beautiful partnership, man. And I thank you so much, brother, because it's so many things.
I want to forget. Let me tell you about.
Oh no, you got the flow, man.
Okay, but now real quick. So I was going back to Laya. She's been a producer in the TV world. Best New York Times best-selling author. This happens to be from St. Louis. Her mom was appointed the poet laureate of Missouri a few years ago before she passed away. So the Kransbergs, they reached out to her. My boy Chris Hansen, I've been on for many years. He reached out to her and said, Laya, look, we need to do something during this pandemic. It was the Trump presidency was happening, the George Floyd unrest. Things was at a crazy all-time high in the pandemic. He was like, look, 2 words, street poetry. So she was like, I got it, because that's her background as well. Mm-hmm. She reached out to me. We got a strong collective of poets, past and present, put them together. We're not together because we have to do the social distancing.
Yeah, of course.
But put them in spaces to allow them just to express themselves and get their voice across. It's a 80-minute piece that's going to be highlighted at during the St. Louis Cinema Film Showcase, and it's gonna be a war shoe at 2:00 when we do that. And it's a powerful piece, man, very, very powerful piece. So I got that. Also, I've been working with an artist, Dawn Richard. A lot of people may know her through making of the band Danity Kane. Okay. And also she was in a group with Diddy called Last Train to Paris. But I've been doing some work with her, and she has this dope, phenomenal. It's a film that's centered around color, sound, and dance. So I'm the editor on her for that. Then I'm working on a piece that
gotta get her up here then, bro.
Yeah. And then I also have I reached out to you about working on a PSA campaign for anti-gun violence.
Appreciate that, man.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that.
And then also we have another phenomenal author here in town, Brenda Hampton. Me and her been talking.
I need to get her.
And we
all of them.
Yeah, cause she's actually has screenplays that she's done that actually have been going out. This may be like her 4th or 5th movie that they've been distributing through Tubi, and they've been doing well. So me and her been talking about doing some collabos, and man, and a lot more in store. That's just the tip of the iceberg of the things I kind of have going on.
Man, I cannot wait, brother, to tap in with you, man, and support you, to be working with you. And not only that, man, I'm in the presence of greatness, brother. I appreciate you, man.
And vice versa.
St. Louis appreciate you, brother, and the people, the black and brown community appreciate you, man, and all the trailblazing, man, the guinea pigging, bro. You've created a lane, man, and I'm pretty sure, man, all the videographers in St. Louis and around the world, thank you for the work that you are doing, brother. But I definitely got to thank you to your face, man, and let you know you are doing some incredible work, man, and it's sensational to see, sensational to hear. It's sensational to put that now in my mind, man, and say, Dana Christian, man, was a part of St. Louis history, man. Without him, we wouldn't have seen our faces. We probably wouldn't have had that St. Lunatics movement that we needed to put St. Louis on that different stratosphere, man. So thank you so much, brother, man. Let people know how they can follow you, man, how they can tap in with you, how they can support you, man. Social media, Instagram, all this stuff, man.
I keep it real simple, man. I ain't got no fancy nicknames and stuff like that. It's just Dana Christian, Dana. Christian, Christian, and that's on all platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and on Twitter is Dana Christian 1. I'm the most active on Instagram. But like I said, I'm busy. I'm one type of people, man. I'm busy, so if I'm on social media, I'm on there a little bit, but I'm not just flooding it on there 24/7. Like I said, I am working.
Yeah, absolutely. I gotta make sure I get you on IG, man. Yeah. And we gonna make sure.
And also too, website is DanaChristian.
I'm about to say, man, you definitely. I know you definitely got the website, man.
Yeah. You can tap in there or whatnot. You can reach out to me. My number is on there. My email address is on there. I'm not hard to get. I tell people I'm not hard to get at.
Man,
I've been having the same telephone number since Nelly's Sweatsuit album.
I love, man.
Yeah, there's a funny story behind that too. We'll get into that later.
Oh, yeah, but I definitely got to talk to you about that, man. Look, we got some more coming up, man. Streetz 105.1 Dsmoovee, aka Smooth Diddy. I got so many AKs if I got my own name, man. I got some Chance the Rapper. I Got You Always and Forever featuring In Vogue, man. And I got some Lil Baby featuring Kirk Franklin. We win. Call that number 314-669-1390. It's Dsmoove, voice of the streets. Move, voice of the streets. Move, voice of the streets. Move, voice of the